How we doing, everybody, and welcome back to the Catalyst, where we break down all things bullish in the crypto markets. I know it's been a few days, and it's been a few good days since we talked last. We're going to go ahead and take a look at Matic here, though. The last video was actually the last red candle, or maybe the one just before that, that flat one there. But in that last video, we had talked about some of the scenarios that could break out and what could happen. So we were talking about, we're going to hit our head here. We could come back down, and obviously we did that. So that was, from here, which was December 19th, so 2-3 days, down to the 20th. So we said we would come back down and test a level. Don't know which level it was going to be. In this case, it was the 20 EMA. It could have come down as low as here, which has been a previous kind of support zone for us, or previous resistance in several cases as well. But ultimately, and we could have tested any of these levels. I was even predicting possibly testing, the support here of this kind of dotted channel that we're in. It's like a bit of an ascending wedge that we've been in for some time now. Obviously, though, the market has been doing quite well. Bitcoin had a pretty good surge. I think it's up about 10% over that time frame. We dipped as low as like 44, 45, and now we're at 48 at the time of me making this video. And since then, what's happened is, one, we broke out of this resistance here. I marked this resistance as well at the 242, which is where we hit our head last time. And we've actually broken out of that. And at the moment, we are still up another 7% on the day. And we're only 2 or 3 hours into the day at the moment. And we are treating this as sport, and we are having an enormous candle. So let's see where this could go from here. Ultimately, I think what could happen is, assuming that this gets extended and continues, to some distance in the future. Additionally, we'll throw some fibs down here. Oh, I'll fix that in a second. So we have our fibs coming in. So we'll go up to this one here. And then we'll go as low as this one. So we see our fibs now playing out. So what we're doing now is, so this green line was actually right along the fib level of the 2419. The next target, or sorry, the one level. So the 1.618 is the next potential target for us. And how do we get there? And conveniently, that also lines up. If this is, accurately placed, those line up perfectly. So that is my next target. Will we shoot up to there in a day or immediately? Probably not. That's not going to necessarily happen. I do think that's a good place to take some profits at the 350 or so mark, 345 mark there. What I do see happening, though, is, we're going to continue to chip up. We might have a red day, see some resistance somewhere, maybe back at this wick. So maybe here at the 280 range or so, we could come back down and test that. So we could do something like this, where we come up, hit our head here, come back down and test it. We could come back down, test the 20 moving average, could come back down again and test even this yellow line here at the 220. Any of those could happen. Obviously, the alternative too is we could just as easily, blast right through this and go up above here and start to test something down here before we continue to break this line here. So a couple of those things could obviously happen. What we're looking for, though, is to find some strong support. So this line's actually quite critical. We want to hold the 242. The other thing is, we're going to respond to whatever the market is doing. So whether that is good or bad, the market will kind of, follow suit with all of that. So we'll see what happens with everything else. But at the moment, it's looking decent. It looks like even Matic's been running up since the market has started to tank quite a bit. This is where the market tanked, and we have been just going pretty solid since then, going up as much as 80% gains, while the rest of the market was kind of flat and sideways. I think people are starting to get excited for ZK rollups and everything like that as well. But yeah, I see us, discovering our price here, breaking through all of this resistance, and then from there, who knows? I've seen price predictions as high as $15. If that happens, awesome. But also be sure to just remember that's not going to happen in one big candle. So take some profits along the way, buy some dips. In a month from now, you could be thinking, why didn't I buy, at 240 or at this, 170 mark? Because it could be in the $4 range, the $5 range. Who knows? I would be cautious, though. I don't think this is necessarily the best entry point at the moment. RSI is quite high. You see what happens when the RSI gets up here, right? We have a pretty solid pullback, right? So we've pulled back quite a bit. RSI has been bouncing, kind of hitting its head a little bit of resistance here at like the 65-70 range, and then it starts to come back down. So if we do have a breakout here and we break some levels, I will certainly be taking profits probably once we cross this mark here, but definitely if we hit anything in the 350 range or close to that, because what's going to follow is we're gonna end up going up, right? So we'll go up here. Let's say we do have a big series of enormous candles over the course of a few days. We will go up and we'll test something down here. So the difference is, though, is now you just saved yourself 10% gains, and you can use those gains to now buy in and increase your holdings if you choose to, either in Matic or in some other coin. You can increase your holdings now overall while maintaining, pretty solid value. Or, nobody goes broke taking profits either. So I would list out some moments to take some profits, whether it's, every percentage it increases, take out a percentage accordingly, because you want to make sure that you're paying yourself for the time and effort you're putting into this. It's a security blanket. You don't want to be there when there's a big crash like this, right? You want to be here for the big green candles. You don't want to be here for the big red ones. So we'll see what happens. But ultimately, I think we're looking pretty strong. You could even say that there's a potential inverse head and shoulders kind of happening here, right? So we have a shoulder here, potential head, another shoulder. With that, we would see basically the price target that we're at right now, right? So this wick here, or this head here, will go to about there. So we're pretty much at that price target. So this could be some serious resistance at the 280 mark. I would not be super shocked about that. So it might even be wise to take a little bit of profits, shave off a little bit. RSI would be kind of peaking out there, and we'll kind of see where the rest of the market goes. As always, let's take a look at Ethereum. Ethereum had some solid green days, but has ultimately began to kind of crumble a little bit, really just still accumulating, right? So we see, we've been in this phase here, kind of just bouncing in and out, for, I don't know, better half of a month, 2 months or so. We'll see what happens with Ethereum. We could find some support. We're still making higher lows, so that's good here. So we have, a low, higher low, higher low, a high, higher high, higher high. So we'll see what happens with Ethereum as well. It might be easier to see something on the 4 hour. So ultimately on the 4 hours, it's looking bullish, right? We have a low here, higher low, higher low, higher low. So that's kind of bullish in that sense. RSI is also going up as well. So we could see, we could maybe see some sort of reversal happening at some point here for Ethereum in terms of just going kind of more positive. Ethereum's been holding really, really strong against Bitcoin as well, especially considering where we've been at and where Bitcoin was at and the retracement that Bitcoin had. I mean, we hit 48K. So yeah, we came down 20%. Bitcoin, however, though, it hit 68K and has since come down 33%. So, I'll take those losses over Bitcoin's losses. Yeah, 20% right now is the difference. So, ultimately, Ethereum's looking okay. We'll see what happens. It's kind of one of those when in doubt, zoom out moments. We're in a bit of a cross here. We'll see. We're starting to get some support on the 100 moving average, so hopefully that continues. We just had the full moon. I know some people theorize the full moon effect and all that stuff. The moon cycles have some sort of impact on the price action. But ultimately, we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. I think as the new year creeps in, people will get excited about crypto following holidays and whatnot, and we'll kind of go from there. So let me know where you guys think Matic is going. I think the ultimate price target in the short term is 350. That would be kind of my max out over the next month or two, and we'll see. I mean, also, Bitcoin could have a 7% rally tomorrow, and we could completely blast off through that. I have no idea, but that is a pretty safe prediction in my opinion, and we'll see kind of what happens from there. So otherwise, guys, don't be afraid to take some profits, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.